Is there situations where the mind sees what it wants to do, but the body just won't let you? And how frustrating is that?
Not many. No, I mean, there's obviously a couple in the game I would have loved to taken off or made something happen, but that was no excuse. At the end of the day, there was plays to be made in that game that I got to make. That throws and different things, or quicker decisions, all those things that I can help this offense get in the end zone and help us win some more games. So there's probably a couple, but that's not really the storyline in my opinion.
How do you feel today compared to this time last week? Frank said
way better. Way better, yeah. I don't think I'll be full practicing, but just the fact that I'll be able to go out there and do some limited work. I mean, I was not in that place by any means last week. So came out of the game relatively unscathed with that, so it's continuing to heal and be in a better place every day.
As far as the mobility goes, have you tried to test it and tried to move around even more to see how much further along you are now than you were this time a week ago?
I mean, you do some things in rehab, but at the end of the day, you don't want to, quote, test it every day. There's a fine line of letting it heal and continue to rehab. So not to get into all the specifics of that, but like I just mentioned, it's definitely in a better place than last week, and it'll continue to heal and kind of take it day by day.
Get to the specifics of it if you want. You can tell us what you're doing.
What was the secret last week? I mean, we watched you on Wednesday. It looked like walking was difficult, and you played an NFL game on Sunday. What was the treatment that worked so well?
There's a lot of things, like I mentioned, through the kitchen sink at it. That's the secret, Guys don't give away their secret. You don't show your hand, but honestly, credit to the training staff. I think they did a great job of helping, obviously get me out there, but also just help me stay positive, and because obviously it was looking pretty dim right away early in the week, and so it was. I was actually surprised myself looking at where I was and how quickly I was able to recover and be good enough to go. So credit to the training staff for sure.
Carson, as much as you prepare, that I can't do what I normally do and I've got to watch what I do. In the game, did you find yourself really fighting when instincts sort of take over that you want to play like you used to?
Yeah, I didn't think it happened too many times. You can look at a couple that maybe I'd have done something different, but at the end of the day, I don't think that was really the limiting factor in terms of why we didn't, win the ball game.
Carson, when you went back and watched your own play from Sunday, like fundamental-wise, how would you describe the fundamentals with the physical state versus maybe week 1 or week 2?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it could have been better for sure. Not to make excuses, but there were some things that could have been definitely cleaned up and been better, and could have and should have completed a couple more balls and made a couple more plays or quicker reads or different things like that I can be better at, and whether that's because of the ankle or not, there's just some things that I got to be better at.
Carson, is there still a little bit of a feeling out process for you with this offense? Not that you don't know the offense, but that it's a new team, it's new personnel, it's all that stuff. You're still learning.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a, quote, feeling out process as much as just like every opportunity out there at practice and in the game is an experience for us as an offense to grow and to learn each other. Just little things within schemes and how we all see things and see the game. We're always growing together. And like you mentioned, I mean, there's only been a handful of practices and now a couple games and different things. So we're still all learning and growing together. So I think every week I'm encouraged by little things that we can kind of grab a hold of and say, okay, here's what we can be as an offense and here's where we can be on the same page. Now we just got to make it more consistent every week.
Is the right ankle the main problem now? Is the left ankle still an issue?
It's the right one, yeah.
Does it feel like offensively something's just missing or something's just not there? You mentioned you're still kind of growing with these guys, but when there's problems in the red zone and there's problems on third downs and stuff like that, it feels like that's the last step that you guys just haven't taken. Have you been able to identify anything that's leading to that?
Really just execution. Not to get too boring and plain with you, but honestly, those are the main situations. I mean, those red zone and third down really make or break football games, and when we get down there, we got to find a way to get in the end zone. I missed a throw last week, and there's little things here and there that we got to do better and execute down there, and so those things I think can, like I said, make or break a ball game, and we got to get better in those areas.
With the red zone, and I guess the closer you get to the goal line, the harder it gets. The goal to go is after. I mean, is that really just frustrating that you can't finish that goal to go? I mean, there's been like 8.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, the last thing we want to do is get down there and either not score or just kick field goals. Once we're down in that tight, some of these are long, sustainable drives. It's hard to get down there. So once we're down there, we want to punch it in. And so, yeah, it is frustrating. And those are things that we're looking long and hard at is, how do we maximize what we have and who we are as an offense and just find a way by any means necessary to get that ball in the end zone.
Points are points, but it almost seems like sometimes the defense is lifted up more when you come away with 3 because they held you to 3.
For sure.
Do you feel like that?
That can be the case, especially in times when you're down in there tight. It's first and goal from the 3, or situations like that where offensively we should find a way to win. In those scenarios, and so we got to be better.
Carson, what are your takeaways from watching Miami on film?
Good defense. Good defense. Fly around, tons of man coverage, lots of pressure. So for the most part, what you're going to get in those areas, and it's going to just come down to execution and kind of a lot of man-on-man. Are we going to win our one-on-one battles? Are we going to make enough plays? But, a lot of respect for them and how they're coached and how disciplined they are, and it'll be a fun matchup.
What have you learned about Michael Pittman now 3 games into playing with them?
He's a competitor. He's a competitor. I love getting the ball in his hands. And just seeing him run after the catch and compete in some of those contested catch situations. And he's a reliable guy. He's going to be where he needs to be on time, create separation, and win those contested catches more often than he won't. And so definitely a reliable target that I think is going to keep getting better and better. And as I think him and I are going to continue to build our chemistry more and more as we go.
Carson, about attacking down the field a little bit more. And I think some of us, I'll speak for myself, expected to see maybe a little bit more down the field attacks. I mean, there's things that are in and out of your control with that for sure. But do you find yourself asking when you're going to do that a little bit more this year in the offense?
Every week you can kind of question some of those things, whether good or bad. And so at the end of the day, I think I mentioned it earlier in the year, but it all comes down to how the defense is playing. It's not for lack of calling those plays. It's just sometimes you got to check it down, take the underneath route, and we'll find our chunk plays and find ways to be explosive as an offense. We just got to keep doing more of it, and I think we'll get it done.